It's very easy to prove to anyone the fraudulent nature of traffic tickets. Someone had asked me in a previous video about this. Find your state's criminal procedure law. I showed you the cover of ours here in New York State. You should be able to find one at your local law library or even at your regular library. Just find the criminal procedure law. For New York State, for example, what we would be doing then is looking up section... Well, for starters, you can just go to the index and look up summons, for example. Under criminal procedure law here in New York State, it's under section 130.10. Summons definition, function, form, and content. And it explains here the process, what it is, and the process used. And under number 2, we see here a summons must be subscribed by the issuing judge and must state or contain so on and so forth. The big deal here is when you read law, you have to read it very, very closely and don't skip over anything. The dictionary that's used for all law matters is called Black's Law Dictionary. It's similar in size and even a little bit bigger than the Webster's Dictionary that we all are familiar with. One is basically common vernacular, the Webster's Dictionary, and Black's Law Dictionary is the kind of language they use against you primarily in court. Now, if you just look at this, a summons must be subscribed by the issuing judge. What does subscribed mean? You go to Black's Law Dictionary and you find out that it means signed. Okay, so in order to haul you into court, they need a summons. They can also use a warrant, but they need a summons for this example in traffic matters. So they're calling a traffic ticket a summons. You show me on that traffic ticket where there is any signature from any judge, okay? It is a court-generated process. It comes from a judge. When you received the traffic ticket, who did it come to you from? It came to you from a police officer. Now, to get even deeper into law, the police officer is part of the executive branch. The judge is part of the judicial branch. They have the authority to issue summons. A member of the executive branch most certainly does not have that authority, ever. So why do they call it a summons? This is something, in my opinion, that needs to be challenged constantly. Now, another thing that they might do is send you a, quote, summons through the mail to try to get you to show up for your traffic ticket if you didn't show up the first time. If you look at these summons, they are almost never ever signed, rarely to never, and if they are signed, it is almost always using some sort of a legal skirt, like it will be a photocopy. There won't be an actual signature on there. It'll just be a photocopy, among other little fraudulent tricks that they use to try to haul you into court. This is very simple to understand, very simple. So what would I do if this was presented to me, which I've already done many, many times, is I'd be submitting an affidavit into court stating I ain't never received no summons. Therefore, due process is faulty because there has to be a summons in place in order to even get you in there to begin with. Without it, there's a jurisdictional issue at stake. They do not have the authority to do anything at that point. What the traffic people will do instead, the judge and the prosecution and the rest of the game, is they will simply steamroll. They'll move forward, and if that is something that is okay with you, you don't find anything wrong with it, then live it up.